A tiny seed dreamed of becoming a big tree. It settled into the dark, quiet is, a minuscule promise of life wrapped in a tough, protective shell. This wasn't just any dream. It was an instinct, a deep, cellular yearning for the sun, for the sky, for a life far grander than its humble beginning. It held within its core the complete blueprint for a future it could only imagine, a future of sprawling branches, a canopy of rustling leaves, and roots that would anchor it firmly to the world. The world outside its shell was a vast, unknown place filled with challenges it could not yet comprehend. There would be storms with lashing rain that threatened to wash it away, and the long, scorching summer days that could bed the ground until it cracked. There would be the weight of the soil above, a constant pressure it would have to fight against every single moment. Yet, the dream was more powerful than any fear of the unknown. It was a silent, unwavering resolve, a patient hum of life waiting for the right moment to begin its arduous, magnificent journey. Every day it pushed through the soil, a slow and monumental effort for something so small. The first sign of life was a tender, polished shoot, fragile yet determined, that broke through its own casing. This initial push was an act of pure faith, consuming the stored energy within itself to break free from the familiar darkness. It pushed against the heavy, compacted grains of earth, each one a tiny boulder in its path. There were days when progress felt impossible, when the soil seemed to mock its efforts, refusing to yield. The journey was not a straight line up. It was a winding, difficult navigation around stubborn rocks and through dense clay. The little shoot had to be both strong and clever, finding the path of least resistance while never losing sight of its upward goal. It learned to feel the subtle shifts in the soil, the faint warmth from the sun far above that served as its beacon. The rain, which could be a gentle, life-giving friend, could also become a torrential force, flooding the ground and threatening to drown its nascent life. The little seed, now a sprout, had to endure the drenching, holding on with its new, thread-light roots, waiting for the water to recede. The sun, the object of its deepest longing, was also a formidable force. Its heat could be relentless, evaporating the precious moisture from the soil and threatening to wither the sprout's delicate foam. On those days, it had to dig its roots deeper, searching for hidden pockets of coolness and water, a desperate, silent struggle for survival that went unseen by the world above. Each millimeter of growth was had won victory, a testament to its unyielding will to live, to grow, to reach for the light it had only ever dreamed of. Slowly, it grew strong branches and beautiful leaves. After what felt like an eternity of struggle beneath the surface, the sprout finally broke through the soil and greeted the open air. The first glimpse of the sun was not a gentle warmth but a dazzling, overwhelming brilliance. For the first time, it unfurled its first two leaves, tiny green flags announcing its arrival. These first leaves, called cotyledons, were its initial solar panels, capturing the sun's energy and converting it into fuel for further growth. With this new source of power, its ascent accelerated. The single, fragile stem began to thicken, developing a tough, bark-like skin to protect itself from the elements and the curious nibbles of insects. It was a slow transformation, season by season, year by year. The single shoot gave way to a central trunk, and from the trunk, the first true branches began to extend, reaching out light arms eager to embrace the sky. Each new branch was a reste and an investment, a foray into new space, a new platform for leaves to gather sunlight. The leaves themselves were marvels of natural engineering, intricate networks of veins carrying water and nutrients, their broad surfaces perfectly designed to catch the light. In spring, they would emerge as tender, bright green buds, unfurling into a lush canopy that danced and whispered in the breeze. In autumn, they would put on a spectacular show, turning brilliant shades of gold, orange, and red before letting go and returning to the earth to enrich the fairy soil that sustained the tree. Over the years, the branches grew thicker and more numerous, creating a complex, sprawling architecture against the sky. The tree provided shade for weary travelers, a home for nesting birds, and a playground for squirrels. Its leaves cleansed the air, and its roots stabilized the soil, preventing erosion. It had become more than just a tree, it was a vital, contributing member of its ecosystem, a silent, steadfast guardian of the forest. Its beauty was not just in its size, but in its resilience, in the story of its journey etched into the rings of its trunk and the gnarled patterns of its bark. It stood tall and proud, a living monument to the power of a small but persistent dream. Lesson: big dreams start small, keep growing.